Flatt decided to do this roundtable. I think the idea was to gather the opinion from the different personnel in the industry and get the different views from the different sides of it, be it the client, be it the project manager, or the architect, or the QS. So we could actually understand how we could offer a better service as part of the advanced design group. So looking at providing this early information that actually is valuable for everyone in the construction, in the project, so that this can actually be taken on board by all and collaborate properly in there, rather than just our ideas of how we can make the project better. It's getting everybody around to discuss how we can make this interaction better and get them to really influence and make the project flow in a better way.
I think collaboration, it's the type of collaboration that happens, and I think it's the timing of it. People, and it's the way people communicate. I think the point I was trying to make earlier was how people actually use that communication, and some of the technology that's around nowadays makes people lazy in the way they communicate, and there's a lot said for actually sitting down in a room and getting people together and talking and solving an issue that works a lot better than sending emails back and forth. And I also get slightly worried about the way we're going down with CAD now and BIM, and all these things are great and they help us in the job that we do, but if we're not careful, we shy away from the actual direct communication, talking, picking the phone up. And I think that's the thing that we have to be careful of.
Often we find that clients approach us to develop an image for them, an aspirational image that can communicate a point of view that they want. And when we do get approached to do that, it's usually through kind of one-to-one workshops with them, but it's usually led through an architectural approach. So we're usually the ones that get appointed to help them develop this image.
Okay, Hurley Palmer Flatt started the Advanced Design Group in response to our clients' really expectations of the level of work we had to put in to validate schemes during the conceptual stages. We found that we needed to develop faster, quicker ways to communicate to support the architects as they develop schemes. And it was really interesting today to get everybody in the same room to talk about how we could work better together. Particularly important was also to get the client's perspective, which we hadn't really considered, as we've been mainly having dialogue with other team members.
I feel that the culture of collaboration is critical to the success of any feasibility or early design studies. How you generate that culture is really important. I feel at Lendlease, personally, the culture is generated through trust, it's through collaboration, and it's through integrity of the ideas. One way that we do it at Lendlease is early on in the design stage we have a 2-day away day where the whole team comes together off-site, and we have workshops, we have studies, we talk about Lendlease's vision, we talk about what's happening in the marketplace, and the leasing profile, but also about what the critical items are for the project to make it a success. This is all embedded with a social element. In the evenings we have dinner, we can come together, and it starts to formulate a real trust and bond within the team, which then permeates through the whole design phase. We really see the benefit of doing this as it fosters open relationships, which leads to great collaboration.
I think we've, as an industry, perhaps lost the ability to kind of, get in front of each other and just sketch, simple way of kind of illustrating your sort of early ideas with a pen. And one of the things that came out of the discussion just then was that, I think that perhaps the definition of the meeting has perhaps become quite negative. That meetings tend to be very much about reporting, and often it's almost like, you don't want to take away any actions from a meeting, as actually that's, a meeting should be more of a workshop, and meetings should be far more collaborative and creative. So, some of the things that were coming out were that there should be less people at a meeting. There shouldn't be 12 people sat around a table, there should be 5. There should be some tracing paper, some pens, having the right people in the room who are kind of have the right amount of experience, but also are able to sort of think laterally. And if you get sort of 5 of those in the room from the key 5 disciplines, then creative ideas are bound to flourish. I think for us, a key distinction between engineering and design is that you kind of have to think laterally. So, you know, what we do and what the others do that were in the room today is very much an integrated approach, where everybody is thinking about how one's discipline can work together with the others to form, you know, a creative, holistic product. And I think so you need to sort of think about it more in terms of how to be a designer as opposed to just your single discipline. And that is where technology starts to come in. But I think, you know, the advent of 3D modelling and information modelling, which is something that's obviously taken the industry by storm, can sometimes be counterproductive in the early days, in the early stages, and that's why, you know, we and others today were advocating just going back to communication through the simple sketch. To be honest, it's about first of all choosing the right companies that have that ethos. Again, it goes back to my point about not being engineers but being designers. And being, you know, working within a company that has nurtured what design actually is. Because if you've kind of been through that kind of process, you automatically understand what integrated design is all about, which means that you can understand the constraints and opportunities of the architect, of the building services engineer, cost consultant, client, etc. And that means that you've got a far better sort of, you know, grounding and foundation to actually, you know, make it happen and for it to be successful.